If you're married and one of you earns significantly more than the other over your careers, there is a Social Security rule that can add up to $1,100 a month to the lower earner's check, and most married couples claim it wrong or never claim it at all. This is not a separate application. This is not a different program. It's built directly into the Social Security system, and it applies to millions of married seniors right now. Here's what makes it devastating when couples get it wrong. Claiming too early permanently reduces this boost by up to 35%. Waiting too long past a certain age gives you nothing extra. And there's one timing rule between you and your spouse that, if ignored, can block the payment entirely. Stay with me, because I'm going to show you exactly how this boost works, the dollar amount you could be leaving behind, the 5 mistakes that shrink or kill it, and the one timing strategy that maximizes it for life. And there's a rule for divorced spouses that almost nobody knows. If your marriage lasted at least 10 years and you haven't remarried, you may be entitled to this same boost on your ex-spouse's record, without their knowledge and without reducing their payment by a single dollar. I'll explain exactly how that works in a moment. How the spousal boost actually works. Let me explain this clearly, because the confusion around it costs families thousands of dollars every year. Social Security allows a lower-earning spouse to receive up to 50% of the higher-earning spouse's full retirement benefit. That 50% is based on what's called the primary insurance amount, the benefit the higher earner would receive at their full retirement age, which for anyone born in 1960 or later is age 67. Here's the key. You don't get both your own benefit and the spousal benefit stacked together. The Social Security Administration pays you whichever is higher. So if your own retirement benefit is $500 a month, and 50% of your spouse's benefit would be $1,600, you receive the $1,600. That's an $1,100 monthly boost over what you'd get on your own record alone. Over 12 months, that's $13,200. Over 10 years, it's $132,000. That is real money that a married couple is entitled to, and most of it goes uncollected because of misunderstanding, bad timing, or simply not knowing the rule exists. But here's where most couples get burned. There's a timing trap between when each spouse files that can block the boost entirely. The timing trap that blocks the payment. This is the single most common mistake, and it costs more money than any other. The lower-earning spouse cannot receive the spousal boost until the higher-earning spouse has filed for their own benefit. Read that again. If your husband or wife earned more than you did, and they haven't filed for Social Security yet, you cannot receive the spousal amount. Period. Here's why that creates a problem. Many couples decide that the higher earner should delay filing until age 70 to maximize their own monthly check. That's often smart. The delayed retirement credits increase their payment by 8% per year past full retirement age. But while the higher earner delays, the lower-earning spouse is locked out of the spousal boost for every month that passes. Let me put numbers on this. Imagine the lower earner's spousal boost would be $1,100 a month. If the higher earner delays from 67 to 70, that's 3 years, 36 months, during which the lower earner can't collect the boost. That's $39,600 in spousal benefits that the couple never receives. So the question isn't just, when should I file? It's, when should we file? As a household, to maximize our combined lifetime income. And that calculation changes when one spouse's delay prevents the other from collecting. Now here's mistake number 2, and it's the one that permanently shrinks the boost for life. Claiming early and the permanent reduction. If the lower-earning spouse claims the spousal benefit before reaching their full retirement age, the boost is permanently reduced. Not temporarily, permanently. The reduction is steeper than most people expect. If your full retirement age is 67 and you claim the spousal benefit at 62, it's reduced by 35%. That means an $1,100 boost drops to about $715, and it stays at that lower amount for the rest of your life. At age 64, the reduction is about 25%. At 65, roughly 17%. The only way to receive the full 50% is to wait until your own full retirement age. And here's the flip side. Waiting past full retirement age does not increase the spousal benefit. Unlike your own retirement benefit, which grows by 8% year past full retirement age, the spousal benefit stops growing the moment you hit 67. So the perfect window for claiming the spousal boost is exactly at your full retirement age, not earlier, not later. Now here's the rule I promised at the start, the one for divorced spouses that almost nobody uses. The divorced spouse loophole. If you were married for at least 10 years before divorcing, and you have not remarried, you can claim a spousal benefit based on your ex-spouse's earning record, and your ex doesn't have to know, doesn't have to consent, and their own payment is not reduced by a single dollar. The amount works the same way. You can receive up to 50% of your ex-spouse's full retirement age benefit if you wait until your own full retirement age. If you claim at 62, the reduction applies just as it would for a married spouse. There's one additional advantage for divorced spouses. You do not have to wait for your ex to file for benefits. If the divorce has been final for at least 2 years, and both of you are 62 or older, you can file independently. Think about how many people this applies to. A woman who worked part-time while raising children, divorced after a 12-year marriage, now 66 years old and collecting a small Social Security check of $400 a month. She could be entitled to a spousal benefit of $1,200 or $1,500 based on her ex-husband's record. And she may have no idea. Now there's one more critical rule that connects the spousal benefit to something even bigger, the survivor benefit. And most couples don't realize how one decision now can protect the surviving spouse for decades. The survivor connection most couples overlook. Here's the rule that ties everything together and makes the higher earner's filing decision even more important. When one spouse passes away, the surviving spouse receives the higher of the two Social Security benefits. Not both. The higher one. The other one stops. That means if the higher earner delayed until 70 and built their benefit up to, say, $3,800 a month, and the lower earner was receiving $1,800 when the higher earner passes, the surviving spouse keeps the $3,800. That's their income for the rest of their life. But if the higher earner claimed early at 62 and locked in a reduced benefit of $2,500, the surviving spouse's income for life is capped at that smaller amount. The delayed retirement credits the higher earner gave up are gone forever, and the surviving spouse pays the price for decades. So when couples decide whether the higher earner should delay, it's not just about their own check. It's about the survivor's check, the income the widow or widower will depend on after the first spouse is gone. Your action plan this week. 1. Look up both spouses' benefits on SSA.gov. Compare the lower earner's own benefit against 50% of the higher earner's full retirement age benefit. If the 50% number is higher, the spousal boost applies. 2. Do not claim the spousal benefit before your full retirement age unless you have no choice. The reduction is permanent and steep. 3. If the higher earner hasn't filed yet, discuss whether their delay is costing the lower earner the spousal boost. Run the math on total household income, not individual benefits. 4. If you're divorced, check whether you were married for at least 10 years and are currently unmarried. If so, look up your ex-spouse's estimated benefit and compare it to your own. 5. Factor in the survivor benefit. The higher earner's filing decision protects the surviving spouse for life. The spousal boost is one of the most powerful tools inside Social Security, and it's the one that gets misunderstood the most. Claiming too early shrinks it. Ignoring timing blocks it. And not knowing it exists means leaving up to $1,100 a month on the table for the rest of your retirement. So check your numbers this week. And if you know a married couple over 60, or a divorced person who was married for more than a decade, send this to them today. One conversation about timing could be worth over $100,000 across their retirement. That's not an exaggeration. It's the math. Note, this is general information, not financial advice. Spousal benefit amounts depend on your individual earnings record, filing age, and situation. Consult the SSA or a qualified financial planner for personalized guidance.